New rules are going to cost you your business. I worked for a manufacturing company operating hot foil printing machines. For the first 6 months everything went smoothly. I was working 2 machines like most of my other coworkers. Working hours were 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with an hour lunch break. Although nearly all of us came in early to set the machines up, and left late after cleaning up the machines at the end of a run. Usually 15 to 30 minutes extra per day. The owner then decided he wanted to retire and sold half of the company to a larger firm with the intention of staying on another year before selling the other half. The new company insisted on all workers, not office staff, clocking in and out, as well as increasing the workload by pushing production goals. The machine they used to clock everyone in and out was the cheapest they could find, and nobody knew how to set it up so it shifted the cards into the right place to print the time. So times would often be printed on top of one another, or out time would be printed on the in column, etc. Big headache for the office worker trying to sort out the mess from 30+ workers each week. To start, everyone carried on as normal, clocking in when they arrived and clocking out when they left. A week in and everyone on the production floor is called into the office. There will be no unarranged overtime being paid, and everyone must clock in and out at the right time, was the message from the new boss. 15 minutes of downtime just to tell us that? Okay then. We would all arrive at our usual times and start to queue up waiting for the clock to tick over to 8 a.m. Then everyone would punch in. Took around 4 minutes for everyone to use this one machine. If a run wouldn't be completed before clocking out at lunch, it wouldn't get started. So around 11:45 the production floor started to get quieter. At 11:55 it was almost silent while everyone queued to clock out for lunch at 12 o'clock. 12:55 everyone queuing up again to clock in at 1 p.m. 4:45 p.m. would bring in another quietening. A week later we all get called in to the office again. Some people were not putting in their full hours. They were clocking in a few minutes late and or clocking out a few minutes early each day, and this was not acceptable for the new boss. Also, we had to make sure the cards were printed in the correct position so it was easier for the office worker who dealt with the wages to calculate our times. No mention of fixing the clock machine. So we diligently set about making sure the cards were printed correctly. End of the queue and clock in at 8:03? Okay. Clock out at 12:03. After 3 months production was so far behind that they had to start asking workers to come in on weekends to clear the backlog of orders that were waiting. Pay at time and a half for the first 4 hours. Then time and 3/4 for any hours over that. Nice. For those that could do it. A month later and the new boss was losing so much money they had to make cutbacks. How? By getting rid of workers and no overtime. So now they not only couldn't complete the orders, but were asking the remaining workers to work harder and run more machines. I was one of those made redundant. I heard from one who wasn't made redundant about 6 months later that the company folded a month after that as workers quit due to unrealistic pressure. And they were so far behind on orders that the customers dropped them as a contractor. The owner never did get to sell the remaining half and retire as planned. Seems to me the old boss, owner should have stepped forward to put the new owner in its place. It'd be a perfectly reasonable thing to do since he still had half ownership in the company. Edit. We'll never know what the contract between the old owner and the new company contained. We're all speculating. You would think they would have realized something was wrong, but nope. These people never learn. People think I'm a genius when my plans go well. I just ask the people on the production floor their thoughts and usually run with them. Magical manager. A lot of business types have zero real-world insight. The old owner didn't step in and stop corporate? Or perhaps he had his payout and now it's popcorn time? I wonder how much money the owner lost out on, by staying that extra year. Stepping over $1 to pick up a penny. Company successfully destroyed by management. What a creative way to burn money. Next time, they should just use a lighter and skip a number of steps. My dad worked for a millwork installation company. Well, they bought a lot of material from a local shop. Local shop changed owners to a guy who never worked in the industry. It got so bad that the guys on the shop floor told the owner he's going to put them out of business if he keeps up with the BS. Well, after about 3 years of the BS, everyone finally quit and walked out. Sounds like my father-in-law. Built a nice business, sold it to someone with deep pockets who was going to invest in the business and expand it. They had a payment arrangement where Phil got X up front and the rest over time. Dude ran the business into the ground. Declared bankruptcy. Phil got screwed. If you have the possibility of moving on, never stay on at a firm that's being sold or changing management completely. The new management never knows what's going on, and in the adjustment period between management styles, you, as a worker, are always going to get shafted big time. Another story of management making cutbacks without having the slightest idea what goes on the shop floor. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Prime example of treating humans like machinery and making them inefficient as a result. Shame for the people who lost their jobs that the new manager was incompetent. Now I wonder if the owner bought up the remains of the larger firm for pennies on the dollar. I don't see any malicious compliance. But what a hell of a story. Too often when a company is turned over to shareholders and a board shit starts to fall apart. Or at best, they just ruin what was once a great place to work. A stamped clock on machine? What year is this? To answer the question, why start early? Every job I've ever had there was a handover. Depending on the type of job meant how long the handover would take. For example, if the shift started at 7 a.m., it was customary to come in 20 minutes earlier. Make a coffee. Go through the handover notes. Usually only took 5 minutes. And the next shift would do the same. Gotta love when new ownership storms in and changes stuff without doing a single iota of research as to why the existing processes are as they are. I haven't finished reading the story, but US labor law says that setting up your workspace and cleaning up your workspace are considered part of the job, and therefore they're required to pay you for it. So they either pay you for showing up early and leaving late to do those functions, or you don't do a damn thing until your paid time starts and the company loses that productivity time during your scheduled working hours while you prep and clean up.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.